Hello, RSC fans. We are getting back at it again for another night of exciting RSC 3's action on the desk. We're going to have a new face tonight. We've got Mr. Boa joining the media committee as of today, getting their feet wet into casting. Boa, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great tonight. How about you, boss?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's never a bad night with some solid RSC action on the table. For those of you who don't know, Chips is producing behind the desk. Stud decided to jump on the stream tonight. Super helpful, very thankful. But I do want to go ahead and pop in here and say, hey, it's going to be a little bit different on the stream tonight. You're not going to have team stats, or you're not going to have player stats, because for some reason, as it was generating, it showed Mr. Tech 4 had played 47 games already. Was rocking with like 52 goals. And I know we love the Tech 4 show here, but you know, we can't really give this man any fake stats to roll with. So you'll be have to look at this screen for a little bit as we kind of talk about some player stats here. The players we do have on the pitch, or who we're going to be having tonight to start us off for Bokrug. We're going to have Mr. Tech 4, Lorak, and Jazz Magic. As I get these pulled up here, I'm looking at Envy stats because I'm just on point tonight. Jazz Magic sitting at 47 goals, 26 assists, 39 saves. Mr. Lorak sitting at 34 goals, 26 assists, and 40 saves. And for some reason, Tech, 27 goals, 26 assists, and 35 saves. Uh, Boa, all three of these of these Bokrug players are sitting at 26 assists. They seem to be equally spreading around the love on the pitch on the offensive side of the ball. And I think that's going to be kind of interesting to watch for a prospect team.
It always is. I mean, you always love seeing the ball passed around, and seeing it passed around at such a lower rank lobbies is amazing to see. Because teamwork is hard to find in those lower lobbies.
You
How
got
would
to
you?
love it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My bad. My bad.
You good? Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say you gotta love it. You know, passing and playing a lot of selfless team ball, especially at the lower levels, really shows a tremendous development in the mindset of the player as we move along in the season. A lot of prospect players, you know, would traditionally be focusing on mechanics development, but this team really seems to be playing well as a team, and it's really paying off in the win-loss column. Obviously, you know. Lorak's been 25-9 on the season. Tech and Jazz Magic sitting at that brisk 26-10. But the team they're playing, definitely no slouch at all. They're going to be going up against Envy, a team that I'm looking at here. This is definitely wrong because this says 21-13 on my end. Uh, oh, it's going to be a great night. You know, Balto, 36 goals, 22 assists, 44 saves. Altered Sparky sitting at 24 goals, 24 assists, 43 saves. And then Mr. Cheese TV, 19 goals, 11 assists, and 29 saves. This team really, from what I'm seeing on the stat sheet, is going to be a very defensive heavy team and potentially could be maybe immovable object meets unstoppable force kind of night for us.
That's what it's seeming like. I mean, you see that Bokrug has been passing the ball tremendously, getting assist after assist after assist, and just scoring. And then you see Envy with just this enormous amount of saves, just looking incredible on defense. It's going to be a really good matchup, I feel. How do you
I
think it's?
am notifying our teams because we don't really have a whole heckin' lot of good old fashioned graphics for you to look at tonight. We're just going to go ahead and move quickly on into the action here. Going to be getting a kickoff, what looks to be from Jazz Magic and Balto. Before we get too hot and heavy into the matchup, Boa, do you have any predictions for game one?
Uh, think I think it's going to be low scoring on either side of the ball because, like we talked about, the defense on Envy is just so good. But I do see Bakrug taking the first game just because their teamwork has been really good this season. But as I say that, they just come out of the gates. Envy comes out and proving me wrong.
You've been a caster in RSC for not even 20 seconds, and you've already got your first ever recorded caster curse. My man, off to a solid start. It's just the way it is in RSC. I'm not going to lie. That's always a fun time here. Lorak looking to get it centered, getting cut out quickly by Balto, though. Balto's going to wait, decides to let Jazz push this towards the center. Gets a lucky bounce, though, so Envy is able to stay away from the equalizing goal. Altered Sparky goes for the cut. No, tries to squeak it past Jazz, but Jazz read that like a third grade Dr. Seuss book, ready to play it through. And Mr. Boa, it's seeming not like what we thought. We're seeing a lot of offense coming out of this Envy team.
Playing completely different than how me and you both just were talking about them playing. I mean, they barely had to be in their own half because there hadn't been much signs of offense from the other team. I was completely wrong. I take it back. Envy, I didn't mean to disrespect. And
My bad.
Sparky's kicking it up the wall.
I didn't understand your game.
I did not know ball.
Heck quickly pushes the ball down the pitch, trying to keep the tempo up and alive. Altered, though, being absolutely pinpoint precise, gets it past one and pushes this back into the corner. Tech off the wall. Same man who destroyed me in a six-man's lobby. Gets it center for Jazz. Jazz gets the flick. Oh, it's cleared away. Cheese able to keep this a 2-0 game. Cheese, same player, elevating quickly to push this back into the corner. Lorak looking for the center touch. Tech, oh, can't quite get the stuff. The Whiff City hitting hard. My man, I really didn't expect a tier that's going to be mostly, looking at some C1, Diamond 3 players, some C2s occasionally sprinkled in. I didn't expect them to be playing this high and this fast.
Yeah, I mean, they're just all over the ball. No matter where it is on the field, they're just going straight after it. I do think that they Envy need keep doing what they're doing. I mean, they're playing really good soccer right now. Like, they're just keeping it going this whole time. What do you think? What do you think the Bokrug could do? Just trying to flip the script, as they say.
I think Bokrug, if they're going to be kind of flipping the script, so to speak, they need to be getting back to Bokrug, what the heck is a Bokrug offense, and seeing what they can maybe do to open up some passing plays for their teammates. I've seen they've gone for a couple bump plays and a couple demo plays pretty early on. Maybe a few more bumps, being a little bit more aggressive on the off-ball rotation might be able to help open up some offensive opportunities. Jazz, oh, mistouch by Cheese, but Jazz can't get it either, so Balto is going to be able to set up Altered Sparky for the quick push down the midfield. Looks like Sparky's got control, gets it past two. This is going to bounce, not very high though, so Cheese is looking for the pass center. It drifts lazily into the corner, but Balto cannot put this in a viable offensive position. And Boa, we're seeing potentially the opposite of what anybody could have expected by far.
Definitely. I mean, Balto as team captain is just playing such a good role, staying in like a middle area, not forcing anything, and keeping his team with each other, trying to make sure that nobody overcommits. I mean, you've barely seen any mistakes out of this MV team. And Voss, honestly, if this series continues to go this way, I don't see any chance of MV getting stopped.
Not at all. Balto going, first off, Balto, a prospect player, just went for a squishy save. Insane mental to be able to have that confidence and say, hey, I'm going to come off the crossbar and go for the save. Unfortunately, though, not the greatest timing. Lorak able to exploit the lack of defender on the ground and push it down low. A well-placed shot brings this game now within one, and with 1:10 left to be played, there is a lot of RSC 3's action to be had just in game one.
Definitely. And I feel that whichever team I start talking about just ends up scoring. So, I mean, if Bokrug wants to slide me a little bit of money to start talking,
Oop.
Okay, like I said, if I talk about the team, something bad happens.
I thought you just said whatever team you're talking about scores. It looks like whatever team you're talking about is getting scored on. Unfortunate play.
It's
Well placed for. Sorry, what's up?
It's gonna be one of the two.
It's definitely got to be. A lot of action coming out, though. Uh, from anybody who's familiar with RSC play, Tech 4's franchise, the Mythos, seems to have a bit of a curse going on. They've been 2-2'd on pretty much every stream, I'm pretty sure, for the last 4 seasons. So while, yes, they get that goal there, and now they're going to be down 2-3, potential equalizer on the horizon. I wonder what the odds are if this team's going to go 2-2, or if this team's going to finally break that curse and get something else.
Really just wonder how the comms are going for this team right now. Because I mean, you can't just be calm, or you want to stay calm, but in situations like this, you're still a little fidgety, trying to figure out what you need to do, change, just what all your gameplay needs to consist of. Because I mean, they probably came in here expecting the same envy that we were, a heavy defensive team, and envy came in here and just punched them in the mouth.
Oh, it's not quite over yet. 1 second left to be played. Oh, Cheese TV opting not to let this go into an OT situation. So we're going to see game 1, like you were saying, going in favor of Envy, who really did. They came out of the gate swinging. We saw 6 shots coming out of Envy, but what's wild is the Bokrug actually took 7. They just weren't able to put enough on target and actually kind of maybe paint the goalpost a little bit better, as we were talking about. Uh, Jazz Magic and Lorak both had some early miscues on offense where if maybe he was corralled a little bit more and contact was more efficient, it probably would have turned into 2 or 3 more goals and could have easily flipped the path of game 1 for sure.
Definitely, and I mean, you see, as we were talking about, assist after assist, both of the goals that they had were assisted, which I mean, we've seen that consistently with their gameplay.
Envy, though, I definitely got to say, going into game 2, I don't foresee them needing to change up much. They're playing very well. They're playing off their teammates. They're converting their shots to a pretty high degree. It's sitting at 50%. So we'll see as we get into game 2 here. If there's any substitutions being made, I'm not seeing any differences in the players in the lobby. Uh,
I'm not either.
why are they... Oh, hold on. Oop, there we go. We're getting them in the game. My man, that could have been an awkward spot. Where instead, we're going to get a kickoff here from what looks to be Lorak and Balto. Game 2 on the horizon, and quite frankly, a chance for either a regain or a way to extend this series to a 2-0. Lorak can't get the second touch to push it down towards Jazz Magic. Balto has control, gets the second touch. He's got it past 1, but nobody's there for the follow. Tech's up in the air. Is he looking for the redirect into the goal? He was, but he couldn't quite get the contact that he was probably looking for there for sure. Tech underneath the ball, pops it forward. Cheese keeps it away, and with that wall touch here, Boa, there is a lot more offensive aggression coming from Bokrug than we saw in the first game, but it's not quite paying off yet.
Yeah, but I mean, you know as well as I do, pressure makes goals, and goals help you win the game. But that's what Envy did last game. They came out swinging, something we weren't expecting. I mean, definitely I wasn't expecting. I mean, they proved me completely wrong when I was looking at what they do, and Lorak coming out swinging now. They put more goal or shots up now.
What a
They've already
bar
got
down ski. My man, that was well placed.
they've already got 3 shots on net, so as long as they can start hitting them, I feel that they can win this game.
Jeez, elevates. Can't quite follow it up. Lorak just a little bit faster is able to dust him to the ball. Tech clearing this all the way down. Mr. T playing it patient. Cheese has the pop, looking for Altered. Altered is able to push it down. Cheese is there, but it's a little too far forward. Lorak is able to get this a touch to keep this out of the way. Long shot by Balto, cleared away with ease. Altered Sparky has the offensive pressure. No, can't quite corral it, and it's going to drop into no man's land. Boa, my man, this is not... I hate to keep saying it's not what I expected, But this Envy team, I really thought was going to come out in game two and keep things chugging along, but they are kind of getting shut down in the front third.
Yeah, it feels like Tech is really taking that leadership role and telling them, hey, this is a different MV team than we were expecting, and we need to change our strategy. Because, I mean,
Now
they probably.
I know what the
Go ahead.
comms are. Tech just told his team, "Hey, I beat an elite player in six mans, so we're gonna win this game." I know for a fact that he's just he's just Timothy. He's that guy. But offensive opportunities abound. We're gonna see this kind of drop into a dead spot here.
I do hope that we start seeing more demo play like you were talking about from either side. I mean, now we see MV is starting to get slowed down by the defensive pressure and the offense transition of Bokrug. Both teams are just playing really consistent ball right now. Not many misses, not many bad transitions. You just see perfect rotation coming through. But boss, I got a question for you.
Sure, fire away.
So, out of all these players, which one would you say is like? I know you've played against he's beat you, but out of all the players, who's like the most well known for you?
Well known in terms of just player potential or just player knowledge is probably going to be Tech being the GM of the Mythos, or this, and that includes this Bokrug team. But if we're talking about players to really kind of watch and just follow in this series, a player that's kind of been flying under the radar a little bit has been Balto Storm. This Envy offensive kind of, I don't want to call him a guru, but he's definitely been leading their team with 36 goals on 104 shots. The next highest scoring player on this team is Altered Sparky with 24 goals. So there it is, as I'm actually talking about it. Balto opens up with their first goal of game two, but we really should be expecting a lot more from Balto here. They've been peppering a lot of teams and a lot of their goalies, so you would expect that same kind of storyline to continue here in this series.
Yeah, I mean they've been peppering. I mean they have 5 for 2 right now, which I mean when you look at gold shots, that's not really as much. That's not what you want. But like I said earlier, putting shots on goal is how you get balls in the net. So you just gotta keep going for it and hope for misses like that. And that was a prime example of
Prime
peppering them.
example of Balto being the offensive leader his team has definitely been needing. This is exactly how you want to have a series kicked off, especially going through game two, up 3-1. We'll see, though, with this kickoff, if Altered Sparky can continue that same level of play for their team. Jazz, waiting for the bounce. Cheese is there, though, patient as ever. Tech half flips it backwards. Can't quite elevate, so Balto's going to have control here. Jazz with the whiff city. Balto has control. The man you don't want to let take shots, especially for this tier for sure. Cheese elevates, gets us off the backboard. They have control. They have the shot. No, it's cut out by Tech. Oh my.
And Balto, oh, a mess up by Balto and Tech. About to, oh, he about took a, they about took prime example of why he is such a formidable force on this field. And Jazz is showing out too. He's trying to show that it's not just a Tech show. And there's some of that passing plays that we were talking about. I mean, they passed it one to another and back again.
Oop. Jazz looking to center this up here. Lorak's going to go off the wall. A friendly bounce keeps this in a great spot for him. He gets it centered, but Jazz Magic can't put this on target. And with not nearly enough time, this is definitely going to end in favor of Envy. They move up in the series 2-0, and it it's a bit rough one if you're rooting for the Bokrug, but if you're rooting for Envy, you've got to be flying high for sure. A little less envious, a little bit more elated. Seven shots. Oh my goodness.
7 shots and you're hitting 3 of those. I mean, that's a great scoreline to be having. I mean, looking at Bokrug, they had 5 for. I'm guessing we're getting a substitution for Bokrug.
I would suspect so, but Jazz Magic is their that's kind of their best statistical player. He's sitting at an 82.1 SPV on the season. They're going to sub him out for Preston DW, who, as I'm looking through here, is currently sitting at a negative 22.8 SPV. Two games played, one win, one loss. 0 goals, 0 assists, 1 save. So while this player may not have the stats that we could look to and go, hey, he could pop off for this or that or the other, he's kind of a wild card for us right now.
I mean, we have no idea what this is going to come out doing. He could take the show away and just show us why he deserves to have that time on this pitch. What do you want to see? What do you think we need to see from him to change this
Uh,
series around?
he is going to have to be a kind of microwave like player, providing instantaneous heat for their offense right off the bench. And we'll see as Preston is sitting patient back post. Tech elevates quickly. Can't quite get anything really great in terms of power. Looking like he hit it with a wet noodle for sure. Lorak can't get it away. Sparky able to select this, pulling up a protractor and snagging that right third goal for sure. Boa, my man, 17 seconds in, and Envy is kicking off game 3 pretty well.
It looks like they're finding their rhythm again, like they had in game 1. I mean, we saw in game 2 that they were a little shakier. I guess the transition for, and as I'm saying that, Bokrug just comes in and scores for them.
Ooh, Balto accurately calling it out. Oh, Tech, relax. Balto called out that he made a mistake and unfortunately was unable to get it cleared away, pushing it right into the waiting arms of Tech. But Tech, no chill in the tank tonight, goes ahead and slaps the great pass. Insane in the membrane.
Was not expecting to see that quick check come out after Bokrug called out his own mistake, but I'm here for it. I love to see some trash talk on the court, but I hope that he can back it up. That's all I want to see.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. There is a fine line. RSC does have a bit of a, I don't want to say rules against it, but there is a fine line where you can go from trash talking in the middle of a game to potentially ending up with some kind of strike. But we'll see if that really is going to amount to anything, or if it's just going to be called playful banter, as that is the kind of person that Tech is for sure. He's been calling his own teams frauds for the last 3 seasons. So you, you got to know the guy. I'm not going to lie. Cheese gets it center, and Lorak clears it down the pitch, but Balto is there to cut it out. This Envy team is keeping it on the front third. Oh, Balto getting it to Altered, but Altered can't get it past the stone wall of Tech. Lorak. No! Lorak can't get the touch, so Balto is going to elevate over him and punish the mistake and the mistouch.
And the one guy that you don't want near that ball when the goal is wide open, Balto just comes in and scores us another goal. I mean, he's making up for that pass right there. We'll probably see more for him throughout the game. Balto seems like such a fun player to watch. So is Tech. I mean, great people to have as your team captains.
For sure. Tech gets it pushed off to the sidewall. Cheesy has control. No, it's going to be cut up by Tech. Ooh, Preston was looking for the quick center pass. Instead, they're going to have to quickly elevate and waste a lot of boost. Hopefully, somebody can rotate through the backside and potentially stop this offensive attack as Altered Sparky has control. Oh, my. They were looking for the double touch pinch to squeeze it past the goalpost. Unfortunately, a little bit too far to the right to be able to get it in. Instead, this game is going to stay 2-1 with 2:22 left to be played.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we see any change coming from MV's side. I think Bokrug is the only ones that need to kind of lock in, as they say. And I don't know what they need to change. I think they just need to try and clear the field out, give each other space, spread out the play a little bit more, because it seems like they're passing back and forth with the other team, and the other team's just taking advantage of it.
For sure. Preston looking for the long ball. Tech opts to back up, though. The rotation staying pretty defensive. This is going to roll up to the right-hand side. Preston tries to beat Balto, but he just can't. Balto far faster. Altered Sparky popping this back a little bit. Cheese is there. This is an on-target shot, but Preston, who had elevated pretty quickly, is able to clear this away and initiate the counterattack very quickly. That's going to drop favorably for Tech, who's there to get the read. Slotting it bottom left there. Insane.
Like we've talked about, Tech has both goals for the team now, just showing why he's there. But don't count Preston out. I mean, like we said, he needs to come in here and prove something, and he is top of the leaderboard currently, leading the team in saves.
Tech could not get the touch. Altered Sparky gets the long touch. Preston pushes over to the corner, but that's in a dangerous spot. Ooh, Balto pushed up, being the fast player they are, pushed up a little too quickly and wasn't there for the read for the pass. Tech wanting to keep his 2-2 curse alive, dives at the ball, can't quite get the touch. Altered centers it here. Balto misses the touch. It's going to stay 2-2 for just a little bit longer.
And now we see Altered Sparky going downfield, Preston, and a demo by Altered Sparky taking out Tech, and that is a goal right there. I mean, he knew who to take out, took him out, and then he just finished the play.
Altered really wants to eliminate this curse so quickly, and my man, for something I've literally casted probably about a dozen matches that involved different Mythos teams from different tiers, and they always end 2-2. I don't understand why. It's been a running joke for a long time with some of the other GMs and just people who've been around the league for a while, but this could be the end of the 2-2 curse for sure. Oh, this is a dangerous spot. Balto has to get this cleared away. Tech has the touch. It's on. Oh, my. Is the 2-2 curse on the horizon, or are we going to finally see it broken with the start of a nightly sweep?
That would be a great thing to see if it's going to either get ended or continue. I mean, we've seen it going on for how long now? It's going to be weird to see it broken if it is. But we can't count out Bokrug just yet. They still just need one goal to end it, and Lorak was looking for it. But Preston has been showing out this game. I mean, I think that was a really good swap. How do you feel about it, boss?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not. Oh God! Sorry, I was distracted. Sorry. That was a really close offensive opportunity, and I'm totally caught off guard. And oh no, Tech.
Did we say the great pass from
Oh, Tech, my man, you just ended the curse yourself. What are you doing?
Do we think it was intentional? He didn't want to see the curse continue.
No, not a chance. Tech is Tech, Lorak, in this Mythos franchise are always competitive, which is why you traditionally see the Mythos franchise at least in the top 10 when it comes to franchise standings at the end of the season. He's actually been, the last 2 seasons, I want to believe, between him and Array for 50-50 Pizzeria, flipping between GM of the season and franchise of the season. So he's definitely not in any way, shape, or form going to be taking L's on stream intentionally. I think it was just a mix-up. Like we were talking about before, we are watching Prospect. We're watching some Diamond 3 to C2 play. And unfortunately, you have some dumb thumb moments where things just happen.
Definitely, and I just noticed that Lorak's switching up for Jazz Magic now. I guess they didn't like him playing, but I guess we'll see what Jazz Magic can bring. Hopefully they can take this last game. That way they're not going home on a sweep. Because, I mean, right now I think they're playing for pride more.
You're definitely right. I mean, at this point in time, we're still pretty far into the season. I know we were talking about the stats not really being available, but I do want to point out that as of this point in time, when we're looking at the prospect here, Bokrug are pretty well sitting in second place. Well, they were 26 and 10 coming into tonight. The Barbarians, having a tremendous night, are now 28 and 12. There is a really good chance, well, actually, there's a 100% chance now of 3 losses that Bokrug, at a minimum, will move to 26 and potentially 14 or 27 and 13. So it's definitely going to see them shift down the leaderboard, but this Envy team was sitting squarely in fourth with 3 wins. A fourth win here might actually move them up into third, might actually leapfrog the Bokrug team and establish a better playoff position. So this fourth game, yes, is a little bit of playing for pride, but it's also playing for a better playoff spot.
Definitely. I mean, you know as well as I do, playoff position is so important when you're playing because the higher you are, the lower opponent you play. So you always want one of the highest numbers you can. But we just in Bostro is keeping it down. See if he can make some magic happen like he's been doing all game. And a great clear by Tech there. And we see Altered Sparky coming in again. And the pick or swap out with Jazz. He's playing very aggressive right now. Staying on the ball. Trying his best to get something going.
Well, for sure. I mean, he's got to be aggressive. Both teams, like we were talking about, sitting at a flat, I want to say 26 and 26 and 13. So this is a really, really interesting moment that we're seeing in RSC play, where one game becomes a lot more valuable than the first 3 by far, because this is an entire spot on the leaderboard and potentially a big shift. Oh, missed. Oh, what a save! Jazz Magic clearing it away. Altered Sparky looked like he had the open net with Tech 4, unable to come back down from the heavens and swat it away, playing Icarus a little too well. But Jazz Magic, the greatest safety net you could ask for on the back line. Balto has control, looking for the elevation, gets the flick, it's over 1, it's in! Oh, Balto putting on yet another storm of an offensive goal.
Great play in the open field. I mean, that's where he is most dangerous. But going back to Jazz Magic, I feel like he is playing to try and prove that he shouldn't have been swapped out in that game. That it shouldn't have been him that got swapped out there. How do you feel about that?
I definitely feel like maybe making the swap was the right decision. It's really tough, especially when you're down by 3, to really realize what's going to be the viable option for a winning rotation when everything you've put forward so far has come up short. But you got to realize you're playing against a very solid Envy team with one of the best players in the tier, and you got to realize you got to be the Teflon man. You got to let anything just bounce off you mentally and hopefully regain going into the next game.
Yeah, I mean, this can't. That's the biggest thing in this game is mental, but you're still seeing this Bokrug team fight, and I went silent because I thought and they did score. Like we said earlier, this passing plays are what's going to carry them into this season. I mean, Bokrug is just consistently, every time they've scored, has normally been through a pass.
Well, that's why it has been, like we were talking about earlier, it's been reflecting the stat sheet pretty well. 26 assists for each player coming into tonight. So really solid all-around team play. We see that continue as Tech led Jazz Magic down the pitch with a great pass, looking almost like an NFL quarterback with that accuracy. Balto can't get the touch. Thankfully, though, nobody's able to push, and Cheese is first to the ball. So this is going to drift into, what a redirect touch that, oh, Cheese, no! Cheese turns, he passes it to Jazz, it's a goal!
Horrible miscommunication between team and I mean, once it messed up to begin with, it was hard to just fix that mistake, and Jazz took advantage of the situation and took his goal. And we see a great kickoff from Preston, but Balto is sitting there waiting for it to come down. And Jazz, could he get another one right here?
TPM. Cheese looking for maybe some redemption here. can't quite get it as Tech is able to play this into no man's land, forcing Balto to push a little bit further back into his back third. Jazz splits the 50, leaving it for Preston. Preston tries to get center. Tech a little too quickly, and now Cheese is going to be able to take that, and no! It's just going to be wide right, and with that block from Preston, this potentially could be the sweep breaker here. Jazz slotting it top third, capitalizes on the quick counterattack.
And here, Bokrug is just showing that if it was a game 7, they could have came back, I guess. And just to kick off strats, what do you think Balto is saying right now to his team?
Probably the same thing I would think any really good player, especially one that's been performing as well as they have been all season, would say. Hey guys, we got 41 seconds left. We still got a chance. We've clearly beaten this team 3 times tonight. So let's see how we can maybe turn this around and win and complete the sweep. So I think that's probably the best bet.
Definitely, but Bokrug is playing really different. They're going for more bumps, and it's just like you talked about earlier, the bump strats, demo, just trying to create that open space, keep tighter rotations with each other. It's not like they're right on top of each other, but they're keeping with each other very well, and it's showing, seeing as they're winning this game. I mean, can't score twice right now, and
Ooh, I thought for a second there we were going to see Altered Sparky take one for the road, even though it would have probably been a garbage time goal, as there was no way to create 2 goals in 1 second. But full stop, that's a great way to respond and prevent the brooms from being pulled out of the closet here. Tech, Jazz Magic combining for 8 shots and 4 saves. Preston, though, definitely no slouch, was in the right place, right time for quite a few games, or quite a few plays. So definitely a great way to respond, but I definitely don't want to pull away anything from Balto and Altered Sparky, who put up 6 shots this game, and quite frankly, through the last 3, have been absolutely unstoppable.
yeah, I mean, you just saw on the scoreboard having 8 shots on goal. Or actually, I think it was 9, wasn't it? Yeah, that many shots on goal, and just the amount of gameplay we saw in goals. I mean, they had a 1/3 shooting percentage there, or 30% shooting percentage. You don't see that too often with those high of numbers.
For sure, for sure. And I'm not going to lie, this series, like we're talking about, means a lot. We're going to see the Bokrug team falling from second to third, but Envy, though, will stay firmly planted in fourth. What was pointed out, and I did go ahead and double check, the Mythos with Tech 4 are going to stay, I believe, in first place in terms of. Ooh, no. Oh, yes, they are still in first place for my screen here for win percentage at .605. I'm sure it's going to be updated once this gets put in, but that should put them still 1 win up over this 50-50 Pizzeria franchise from Array. So that is definitely a solid game to win, and it definitely matters a lot. So I believe that this has been probably one of the most important games we could have seen coming out of the prospect season. Boa, do you have any final takeaways here before we kind of wrap things up for the night?
Biggest thing is I was completely wrong to begin this thing. I mean, I counted them out, and they showed me up. I mean, they completely changed their strategy from what we were expecting to see from them, and then they just, I guess they heard my pick, and then they said, "Let's prove them wrong."
For sure, for sure. Well, if you were to pick an MVP from this series, who would you be picking?
I would definitely be picking Blastos.
Who?
Sorry, like a little bit. Um, I could really go between either Sparky or uh, crap. Sorry.
I think if I was personally going to be picking an MVP, I would personally be picking Balto Storm. Balto's been a fantastic offensive operator all night, just really spreading the pitch and offering a lot of offensive opportunities for his team. Um, I will say though, for anybody who's been tuning in, if you're looking for more solid RSC action, we have some really fun ones coming up this week. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. It's going to be a 1v1 show match. This is going to be set up currently by Bladed Raptor. Thog is the only caster we've got scheduled, but I'm sure I'll be able to find somebody. It'll be Ghosty versus Dolphino. That'll be an incredible Prem tier level 1v1 action. I believe they're running a best of five, so that'll be pretty interesting to say the least. But then Friday, following immediately right after, we're going to have a matchup between the Cheese Guild and the Shadows franchise. It'll be a vet and a prospect matchup. So you'll definitely want to tune in, see some solid franchise fight night action. Definitely get like two or three of these in a season, so we really love to have it. Otherwise, next match day is Monday. You'll have a prospect matchup between the Whiskey Business and the Sparks, captained by Canadian Gamer and Noverchite. That'll be casted by Rob and Dondo RF. So, if you are looking for more RSC action, definitely tune in here. Same bad time, same bad place. Most games Monday through Friday, or Monday and Wednesday, and then we have Thursday and Friday this week. But I've been Boss Radala. Boa has been joining me on the desk for the first time here, and Chips producing on the back end. We thank you for tuning in and watching us. But as all things do come to an end, have a good night.